welcome to Big Mouth Studios. Today we discuss sports, the Champions League. It's been an exciting round of fixtures for the matches. We saw Arsenal qualify, PSG qualify, Barcelona qualify, Inter Milan qualify. I am Nasi and I'm here with
Key and Asante
to discuss the fixtures that we have and then how the run of play will be like. We all know that the next matches we have Arsenal and PSG. We also have Barca and Inter Milan. The first leg, Arsenal is playing against PSG at the Emirates Stadium.
Okay.
Sure. So
Arsenal
what do you
is
think?
going home.
Arsenal is going home.
Yes, Arsenal is
such a bold call.
Yes.
But why do you think Arsenal is going home?
I think, especially with regards to the first leg, Thomas Partey has been a key feature in the previous, in their qualification to the semifinals. Yeah. He was a major player in the first leg and second leg of the quarterfinals. In fact, he actually did well. We could even say he was the assistant player of the match in both games. If we can say that, we can say he was the assistant player of the match in both games. And he not playing the first leg, I think it's a major problem for us now. PSG also have the midfield to be able to contain them. So it means they needed Partey. They need Partey in the first leg at least. And whatever happens in the first leg actually determines what will happen in the second leg, because if PSG scores you 4, I don't think there will be a comeback. There cannot be a comeback.
I see. But don't you think Trossard can fit in well? You know, when Trossard comes in, then probably the Clan Rice will fall back a bit.
Partey gave Declan Rice the ability to go forward, and that is what won Declan Rice the player of the match in both legs. It was because Partey gave him the freedom to go forward. Trossard will not be able to give him that freedom.
Sure.
If Declan Rice falls back, Trossard has to be the one going forward. But Declan Rice is more clinical when it comes to going forward than Trossard.
Yeah, and I think Trossard does well when he's on the wings. Yeah, so coming to play the Thomas Partey role, I think that would be Thomas Partey is really a big blow to Arsenal. I don't know who is going to fit into that position.
I've seen Arteta play around with Zinchenko in that position as well, like shielding the defense.
The defense, yes.
I've seen Zinchenko play that role, and Zinchenko is also a good distributor of the ball as well.
Yes, he's versatile.
And as a defender, he's also good at stopping balls from going behind.
I feel what we are missing is Partey gives the game rhythm.
Yes.
He doesn't make more than 2 touches. It is only when it is needed that he makes 2 touches. He's so quick with his passes, with his thinking, with his passes, and he's so the passes are so accurate, and the passes go exactly where they are supposed to go. You see, so that will be the problem. Even when he has options, like 3 options to pass, whichever he chooses is actually the right choice he had made. So I think Zinchenko can fit into that role, yes. But when it comes to that thinking on the field, that quick thinking to give quick passes in order to actually let the game flow, I think Zinchenko will have a problem.
I would rather prefer Jorginho to Zinchenko, because I think Jorginho has played in that position before, and he will be the best fit in the absence of Partey.
Yeah.
Okay. The match is still a few days from here, but I doubt Jorginho will be ready for that match. considering he's still recovering from his injury.
Oh, okay.
So, Arteta has a lot of to deal with when it comes to replacing Partey, obviously. And there's a reason he played both legs and then was very instrumental in both legs, as we are all noting. So we will see how that will come out as. But I believe when he is able to put in somebody like Trossard there, he's also versatile, just that he is versatile in the attacking sense. So probably the captain can fall back a bit into a more central role, so that Declan Rice can sit in front of the defense. He's also not too bad at sitting in front of the defense, only that we think or we know that Thomas Partey may do that better. What's of PSG? What of PSG?
I think PSG has already won the league, so to say. So PSG can afford to rest players. PSG can afford to experiment before meeting Arsenal. They can afford to try as much as possible to correct whatever mistakes they made in the quarterfinals, and I think that will augur well for PSG. They have Vitinha, he's still playing. They still have Fabian Ruiz. Very powerful combination when it comes to their midfield. So I personally think PSG should come out of this game victorious. At least the first leg, PSG should be able to come out victorious.
I didn't hear you mention Desiree Doué. That young chap
player
has been revealing, has been a revelation, in this tournament especially. Look at the goal he scored the last time out.
I think we can give him the credit for being this young and being able to perform at this level. I think he deserves plaudits for that, and it all goes to point out the fact that Luis Enrique is doing a wonderful job at PSG. We can see, for once, some of us can see that yes, PSG is a strong contender for the Champions League. We have seen them previously, but we were also sure that they would not get anywhere. But this season, I think Luis Enrique is doing a very fantastic job.
I think he has to be given the credit, because ever since he took the job as PSG manager, he's done amazing. He's been very amazing. Bringing up players like this name, I find it very difficult to pronounce. Travis Kekela. Such a fantastic player. I don't know what's the right pronunciation. Bringing up players like that to combine with Dembele and then Bakola in front. You have Vitinha, this guy. Is it João Neves? Neves, I don't know.
João Neves, yes.
And then Fabian Ruiz. Enrique has really done well. He has really done well in a short while. I think that for the French league, he has already won it. And then now there's one thing that I wanted to address. So are we saying that if we have the presence of Partey, supposing in the first league, Partey can combat the midfield of PSG, comprising of Fabian Rui, who was very fantastic in the Euros.
In the Euros, yes.
And then João Neves, and then
coupled with Vitinha.
I think we need to look at that
I
very
think
well.
It will be a tough thing, but it is better to have your best in the game. When you are going to meet the best teams, it's also better to have the best in the game than to make do with what you have. Because we know that PSG has a very strong midfield.
Sure.
So at least Arsenal needs to match that. If not do better than that, they need to match that. And Partey would have been the best fit to be able to match that. But as it stands now, without Partey, I don't think there is a workaround they can do to be able to meet them boot for boot now. I really don't think.
What about PSG's ability to, show pressure? We all saw what happened when Aston Villa kept them at bay, kept pressuring them, kept pushing. We saw how many goals they conceded. They conceded about 4 goals in all.
For me, I feel it was out of complacency. PSG came into the game. They scored first 2 goals, and coming into the game, they were already leading 3-1, right? And then we started the game. They scored 2 early goals. The game is sealed, so they were a little complacent. And then Aston Villa, I feel they had some. How would the Spanish call it? Aston Villa felt they can do some
remontada.
They could have a comeback.
Yes, they could have a comeback. And so they had nothing to lose. They were soaking the pressure. You understand? I think that was what led to PSG conceding, but not that
their footing
on a given day, Aston Villa could have matched them. It was so out of complacency. That is how I see it.
But also, casting back to the first leg, okay, we realized that even in the second half, where PSG scored all their goals, okay, or most of their goals in the first leg, we realized that Aston Villa still had so many chances when they were putting a lot of pressure on PSG, just that they couldn't convert it. So it's not only just about the complacency they had in the second leg. It is also about the fact that every instance that has occurred where they were being pressured, they conceded or they were close to conceding. And if you are facing a team such as Arsenal that have players that can finish, Martinelli is there, Mikel Merino is there, Saka is there. When Odegaard gets you outside the box and there's space, he's going to finish. If you are facing a team like that, wouldn't it be troubling?
You see, I don't know whether should I go on or you have something. Okay, so PSG met Aston Villa, having played Liverpool. Remember, Liverpool did more of pressuring game than Aston Villa. But yet, how many goals did PSG concede? Just a single goal. It was just a single. I will still insist that it was out of complacency because they thought they had already done the work. You get it? They thought they had already done the work, and let's see, Aston Villa, they were lucky. That is how I'll put it. Aston Villa were lucky. They took their chances.
Okay. But then, with the example you gave per se, Liverpool was a bit wasteful, especially in their own match. Okay, they had just 3 shots on target. They took a lot of shots, but they had just 3 shots on target. That also translates into them being a bit wasteful on the day. So I'm also trying to bring up the efficiency of Arsenal. Okay, even if they are not playing well, they are quite efficient when it comes to converting goals. If you let them at your goal for a few matches, most likely they are going to convert at least a third of all those chances. Which will be difficult to come back, considering they considered the least in all this competition. In the quarterfinals, heading towards the semi-final, they considered just 1 goal against the attacking threat of Madrid.
And even before that match, they had beaten. Is it final?
Eindhoven.
They scored 7 goals against them. So let's say attacking wise, Arsenal, they are good.
Yes.
I think if PSG will lose, they will lose because of their defense.
Sure.
That is what I think. I feel that the attack and midfield of PSG is way better than their defense. You can see it in every one of their games. It looks like even in the Premier League, even in the League One, in the League 1, whatever happens, they can score 3. Still, somebody will score them. Whatever matches they play, they will still get to concede some goals, and I think that is a problem. So PSG should also watch out. I think their defense will not help them, considering that Arsenal's defense is really compact.
Yes,
it's really compact. I think PSG should also look at their defense well. Otherwise, Arsenal only needs 3 chances to score you 2.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what would you advise the coaches of both teams? You talk to Arteta and then you talk to Enrique.
I think Arteta knows what to do. In fact, looking at Arsenal, nobody foresaw Arsenal. I mean, getting to this level. You get it. So I think Arteta has done well, and he knows what to do. He played a team who was favorite to win the Champions League. Look at what happened.
Yes, he topped the first round. But
emphatic results.
Yes, emphatic results. In fact, these White Angels said they were going to do a comeback.
Remontada.
So I think beating Real Madrid alone, home and away is enough.
It's enough
to show you the threat that Arteta wields, that he can pose. So I think I don't know. The only thing Arteta will be missing is Partey, who is his main man in the midfield. But I know he can work some magic.
He'll probably miss him only in the first leg.
So we'll try to work around it and then get
him back in the second leg.
So what I would rather say is that he should keep on with what he's doing, the system that he is playing. And then he will get the results. He will get it done.
And what will you say to Enrique?
I feel that the problem when you face Arsenal and you give Arsenal a lot of spot kicks, a lot of free kicks, a lot of corner kicks, they are going to score.
They are the best.
Yes, they take their set pieces.
They have the best conversion of spot kicks and set pieces in the Premier League.
They take their set pieces seriously,
and they've shown it even in the Champions League.
So when you give them chances like that with small fouls, they are going to score you. So let the players be wary. They should not be too. They should not be too confident in themselves and making silly fouls, because it will cost you a lot. If they want to be reminded, they should ask Real Madrid. The first leg, they only lost because Arsenal had set pieces.
That's true. I don't know whether I have my records right. Arsenal had not scored from a set piece until Declan Rice.
They have.
No, we are talking about corner kicks. We are talking about no free kicks alone.
Okay.
We're talking about
all the dead ball situations.
All the dead ball situations, like free kicks, corner kicks. They are very good with converting corner kicks. Yes. So when you give them those chances like that,
they are going to finish you.
Yeah. So when the ball is going to corner, somebody should use his head to head it to ball.
Okay. Barca is also hosting International Milan.
It's not to be
history. History is really going to repeat itself.
They've had this at the same level before. So it's quite interesting. And we all know the outcome. We all know the outcome.
It's still fresh.
It's so fresh. I can imagine. And do you think Inter can do it again?
Oh yes, I feel Inter, if somebody can do it against Barca, it is Inter. looking at Inter's defense, Inter has very good defense. Inter will not go anywhere. They'll wait for you to come. Inter will sit back and give you very good counter attacks. And it is that which I feel, if there is anything to break Barca, it will be that. Because Barca also, at least, I don't think Barca can match Inter defensively. I don't think Barca can match Inter defensively at all. So I think Inter can edge out of this particular match, I think a little, maybe quite a little comfortably.
It's not going to be an easy match.
Yeah, sure.
Considering how many goals Barca is scoring at the moment.
Yeah.
They haven't conceded much. I think they conceded 3 goals, just 3 goals in the
Dortmund, their game against Dortmund.
And then they also Inter also conceded only 3 goals as well against the powerful attack of Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So both teams are looking defensively a bit stable.
Yeah.
But what do you think will change the game that Inter is going to bring to the game, or Barca is going to bring to the game?
For me, Inter has a fantastic forward led by Lautaro Martinez,
and then
mind you, they have Thuram as well. And one thing about Inter Milan is that they are right backs and then left backs. They also pose a different threat all together.
Yeah. About half of their goals were actually scored by their wing backs.
You get it. So Inter attacking is dangerous. You wouldn't know who to match. But for me, when it comes to Barcelona, if you stop Lamine Yamal, you stop Pedri, leave Rafinha to do whatever he does, I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Barcelona.
But my question is, how are they going to stop a player like Lamine Yamal with the kind of things he's doing? You know, wonder kid, we all know. We have seen him play. I would have made that comparison with Desiree Doué, you know, of PSG. But Lamine Yamal is something special. How do you think Inter will be able to contain him?
I think when it comes to wingers, time and again, it is proving that if you want to take wingers out of the game, you man-mark them. They stay at one position, they come at the same direction, and it is easy to man-mark them, especially with a team like Inter. The person I feel is a little difficult to take out of the game will be Pedri. Because Pedri is very technical, and Pedri does not lose a lot of balls. He is kind of a very good midfielder. Pedri kind of reminds you of Iniesta. When he has the ball, he seldom loses it. So if they want to stop Pedri, then all they have to do is attack the places where Pedri will pass the balls to. The people where Pedri are passing to, the strikers, make sure that you are always near them. So that when the passes go to them, you can quickly take it. But taking Pedri alone out of the game, I think that will be difficult. And if you do that, you need a lot of effort to just take Pedri out, which will also leave room for Rafinha and Lewandowski to also operate. So your best bet is to actually come to those people that Pedri is going to feed, and make sure that when they are fed, they do not have anything better to do with the ball. Otherwise, that will spell your doom. But Lamine Yamal, I think one person can stop.
With a player like Lewandowski leading an attack, if the ball gets to him, something is definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
So that makes Barca quite dangerous against any team.
With regards to Inter Milan, I think they will have a way to contain Lewandowski. Looking at the defensive defensive setup of Inter Milan, they will just neutralize Lewandowski. I don't want to be a prophet to say that Lewandowski will be lost in the game. Looking at how he plays, even if you watch La Liga, there are certain points in time when even smaller teams, the so-called smaller teams, have found a way to handle Lewandowski.
To leave him out of the game. Yeah.
The threats that I see are the threats that K mentioned. And you said it yourself. You were asking a question about Lamine Yamal. That they go to the wings, come to Pedri, the great, the incoming Xavi, to distribute the ball. I think he is the only threat to Inter Milan. Give the ball to Rafinha, they run, he cuts in for Lewandowski. But look at the way Inter Milan played against Bayern Munich. The way they were able to contain Harry Kane in the first leg, that Harry Kane couldn't even find the net, the back of the net. You get it. So Lewandowski, I think he's old and cannot match up with the defense setup of Inter Milan. The only threats will come from Pedri, Rafinha, and then Lamine Yamal, who I don't know. I'm the only one who views him that way, that he picks the ball, he casts in, either he gives an assist or through a Keller, which you cannot do that against.
They will not allow you to just...
The Italian team will not allow you to do that.
Yes.
With the mock setup for the Inter defense, we are looking at Bastoni, Acerbi, Pavard as the core backs, 3 center backs as they normally play. We have Federico Di Marco, who is available to play on the left wing.
Di Marco is back.
Yes. Matteo Darmian also on the right wing. And then we have McIntyre, Kalanoglu, Barella also in the middle of the field. For Barca, we are looking at De Jong, Gavi, Fermin Lopez in the midfield. Lamine Yamal and Rafinha on the wings. And then the defense, we have Araujo and then Kubasi in the middle. We have Gerard Martin on the left, and then right we are expecting to have Jules Koundé.
You know what? Like I said, I don't want to be a prophet to prophesy that Inter Milan is true. It's a difficult game. But looking at the players that you mentioned for Barcelona, compared with players of Inter Milan has played a final with almost this same set of players. Was it last 2 years? Inter played in the final against Man City. So they have this experience. You get it? And they have, let's say, a little more senior players than Barcelona, who are inexperienced.
So in the Champions League, Inter met Barcelona in 2003. The first leg, Barca won at home 3-0. Second leg was a draw. That was the group stages. And also they met in the group stages again in 2009. Inter at their home drew 0-0, and then Barca won 2-0 at Camp Nou. In 2010, Inter met Barca at Camp Nou. Barca won 1-0. Inter won 3-1. And then famously lifted the Champions League that season. In 2018, they also met again in the group stage. Inter drew 1-1 at Giuseppe Meazza, and Barcelona won 2-0. So at Camp Nou. And then also 2019-2020, they met again. Barcelona won both legs, 2-1 each, the same scoreline in both home and then away. And then 2022, they met again. It was 3-3 at Camp Nou, and then Inter edged a goal against Barcelona when they went to Giuseppe Meazza. But in recent meetings, Barca has more wins than Inter on the average. So in all, for the sake of competitive matches, they have met a total of 12 times. Barca has won 6. They've drew 4. Inter has won 2. That's what the stats tell us.
So who has won the most when it matters the most?
Okay, so in the knockout phases, they've met twice in knockout phases.
Yeah.
Each of them, Inter edged out.
Yeah.
That was the only 2 wins for Inter in knockout phases. And then all the wins for Barcelona were actually in group stages. Okay. So I'm talking about home and away totals. Yes.
Okay, so let me start off by saying that.
And now we are in the knockout phase.
Yes. So I see a pattern here with regards to Inter Milan. When did they win the Champions League? Is it 2011? 2010.
Yes.
In 2010, they met Barca in the semis.
Yes.
You get it?
In the semis.
They edged Barca out and met Bayern Munich in the final. This time around, Inter has beaten Bayern Munich
already.
Yes. So like I see a certain pattern here, and it clearly tells me that I feel Inter are way ahead of Barcelona.
Wow.
And they will edge them out this time around. I don't mind whether you are wearing.
I suppose that
Barca fans are worried.
Yes.
we'll have to leave room for the brilliance of Hansi Flick.
Yes.
Because no matter how we say it, Hansi Flick can pull a surprise. He is one of the few coaches who actually know how to combine players in order for the players to fit a particular game. So I think we shouldn't take him out. Since Barca has Hansi Flick, I believe that they are not truly out. He can really pull surprises. Even though I still think that Inter has an edge over Barca, I don't think we should
Write Barca
yes,
off.
we should write Barca off at all because they have Hansi Flick. And that alone is, I think, is a very big deal.
I'm only trying to scare the Barca fans. Don't worry.
But then again, when it comes to Inter, who can you say that is their key player? That's something interesting about them. Even though Lautaro Martinez is a fantastic player, their captain is a fantastic player. He scores goals. He's in the game. He marshals the forward up front, and he's good at it. If you give him the opportunities, he's going to punish you. Even though he's there, and it's such a highlight for the team. The team seems to have a collective of players that function as a unit instead of individual brilliance.
Yeah, sure.
That's what makes them a little formidable.
Sure. I think you cannot pinpoint one player as the success of Inter. It seems that everybody plays a very important role in the success of Inter. In certain teams, you can pinpoint a star player or say this player has been very influential. But with a team like Inter, you actually cannot. When you look at their back line, you look at their midfield, it seems the team is working like a machine. Every small part, every big part is working together. So you cannot take any part out. And I feel that is also a very good thing for the Inter coach. And if he continues like that, if they are able to play as the unit they have been able to, I think that they can edge Barca out.
I think Inter currently have been the tradition of Italian soccer. If you look at the Italian teams in the olden days, like you rightly said, you cannot pinpoint a particular player who is a star boy. Everybody is working for somebody, and that is what you see in this team. So I think with this system, well, you let me not see much.
Okay. You know, in their midfield, they have Henrik Mkhitaryan and then Hakan Çalhanoğlu. These players, most of their players are actually veterans. Like,
Yeah, sure.
they've seen a lot of Champions League football.
Sure.
So they have a lot of experience playing in the Champions League, playing in the top level in Champions League. But if you look at Barca, you cannot entirely say that for the team. Yes, we have Lewandowski, we have there's like Rafinha's premier stint in the Champions League, and he's doing so well. Yes. We have other players who might have experienced Champions League football, but you cannot call them Champions League veterans because of the success they've not seen yet. So in their team, you only would probably call out Szczesny and then Robert Lewandowski when it comes to Champions League football. Does that play a role in the outcome that we expect?
Yes, I think that having experienced players play a major role. Madrid lost because, let's face facts, Madrid had small boys manning the forward. These people, we cannot call them inexperienced, but they were small boys. Madrid's success is always based on having at least one person, one very experienced player playing in the forward. Madrid did not have it. When you look at Inter, Inter has experienced players where experienced players are needed. Like Di Marco. You see, like Mkhitaryan. They have players at positions where you need experienced players. That is where they have experienced players. We cannot say same for Barca. Yes, Barca has Lewandowski in the forward. That position also needs a very experienced player. They have it. But apart from that, most of the players they have are relatively new to the Champions League. I think that will augur well for Inter. If they play their cards well, I think that will augur well for Inter.
I beg to differ. I think in as much as Inter Milan has a little more experienced players, I feel Lamine Yamal has seen it all. Pedri has seen it all. They played in the Euros. They played in the final. They have played high-profile matches. So I think that experience is there. Unless we are limiting it to the Champions League, you get it. But in regards to exposure to top matches, these young guys have been there. Especially when you look at the Spanish boys, they have been there. They have seen it all.
That's true. But sometimes when it comes to the top level club football, you get more high profile players in tournaments than when it comes to the the countries,
the country.
because of their assembly. Club footballs, you have the freedom to buy the players that you want to fit a particular style. But the countries are a little bit devoid of that. So, but yes, they've seen a lot of it. They've seen a lot of it. And with the setups that they have now, they are playing so well. Gavi, Frankie de Jong, Fermin Lopez in the middle, they are doing fantastic. And then they can control almost the midfield against almost any team. What will you say to Simone Inzaghi, our Inter coach? What should he look out for? What should he do to win this match?
I think he has all the ingredients to cook Barca. He just should maintain his composure, just do what he does best. He should not worry about doing something so spectacular. I think he can edge them out.
And what would you say to Hansi
Flick? If you are listening to me, we know you. You are this quote, by their works you shall know them. We know your works, Hansi Flick, and we know what you can do with this Barca team that you have built yourself.
To give Inter 8-0.
I think he can do something special. He really can do something special. There is still hope for Barcelona. I mean, beating Real Madrid alone is enough. How do you call it? Motivation for you to face Inter Milan. So go. I know you can succeed, but then if you are not, if you fail, better luck next time. It will be that you met a better side. Yes, a better side. Yeah.
Okay. So, to summarize, who across the two legs, who would you say will win the Arsenal and then PSG encounter?
I see PSG edging out slightly, and then Inter also. So I see a PSG and Inter final.
What of you?
I concur.
PSG Inter final.
Yes, PSG
I
Inter
see a
final.
PSG.
I'm expecting Arsenal to come out and then Inter in the final. So Arsenal and Inter in the final.
That would be a very difficult one for us.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay. We will end our discussion for today on soccer.
Yeah.
You tell us what you think about the fixtures. Who is going to come up top when it comes to Arsenal and PSG?
Yeah.
And then that between Barcelona and Inter. The first leg is in Barcelona is hosting it against Inter. And then the first leg, Arsenal is also hosting PSG. See you. Join us for the next discussions we have.